General George S. Patton is remembered as a brash, hard-charging combat commander, but his greatest military asset was actually his foresight. After the First World War, the United States military went into hibernation. Budgets plummeted, and the top brass retreated into familiar habits, firmly convinced that the horse-mounted cavalry would remain the backbone of future conflicts. While peers polished saddles, Patton obsessed over engines and armor plating. He realized warfare was shifting from horsepower to the internal combustion engine. He preached an urgent warning: an army without tanks is like a lobster without claws. Survival on a global stage requires recognizing when the tools of destruction have evolved and building new defenses long before the shooting starts. The heavy, physical, kinetic wars fought by George S. Patton's generation ultimately built a global order anchored by liberal democracies. Today, that same democratic structure faces an aggressive siege. This modern assault maneuvers through the cognitive space of the internet. Bot networks and algorithmic manipulation now perform the work once assigned to heavy armor and artillery shells. These new weapons are not designed to conquer physical territory. Their payload is aimed directly at the concept of objective truth itself. Right now, modern free societies are behaving exactly like a 1920s cavalry unit staring down an approaching tank. We are taking heavy fire in a new type of conflict we are stubbornly refusing to acknowledge. When you look closely at Patton's actual campaigns across North Africa and Europe, they relied on massive, unrelenting operational momentum. That kind of coordination was only possible because the soldiers on the ground and the citizens back home operated within a shared reality. They possessed a unified, objective understanding of the threat they were facing. Fast forward to the present, and that foundational shared reality is deliberately being dismantled. Researchers at the Rand Corporation use the term truth decay to describe this shift. As this diagram illustrates, it is the intentional blurring of the lines separating verified facts from personal opinions. Political actors actively exploit this decay. Studies show that when voters believe their political system is deeply flawed, they will actually reward a leader who tells obvious, verifiable lies, viewing that dishonesty as an appealing form of rebellion. Without a baseline of agreed-upon facts, a society's collective gears begin to grind and seize. It stalls, incapable of mobilizing against actual systemic threats. The mechanics of this cognitive warfare are precise. Deceptive narratives are engineered and deployed with the exact same rigor as a physical military operation. Take a tactic known as astroturfing. This is a deceptive practice where powerful interest groups pay specialized PR firms to manufacture fake grassroots public support. They create the illusion of a massive citizen movement to mask their own hidden agendas. A European Parliament report analyzing the 2016 U.S. election shows Kremlin bot networks actively weaponizing the vaccine debate. Their strategy was maliciously brilliant. The bots didn't pick one side. They posted extreme, polarizing views on both the pro-vaccine and anti-vaccine sides simultaneously. The strategic goal of an operation like this isn't to win a logical argument. The objective is to flood the zone with so much friction that the population becomes exhausted, effectively gridlocking the democratic process. The true danger of truth decay is where it inevitably leads. A post-truth society quickly degrades into a post-trust society. When citizens can no longer agree on basic reality, they become deeply alienated. Confidence in the government's ability to protect them evaporates, and foundational institutions, from journalism to the courts, are stripped of their authority. This internal friction exports a fatal unpredictability. When a democracy's leaders can't agree on basic facts at home, they lose the ability to project a credible stance abroad. This creates a secretive international environment where even the closest allies stop trusting each other's security commitments. The Munich Security Report issued a direct warning on this front. If politicians lie openly and allied nations cannot agree on basic facts, global diplomacy descends into a secretive, highly unstable environment where mutual security commitments mean nothing. This post-trust environment acts as an institutional rot. It hollows out liberal democracies from the inside, leaving them exposed to unified adversarial states. Authoritarian actors are highly adaptive, and right now they are thriving in an environment driven by raw emotion rather than factual evidence. In 1940, the United States military had to rapidly wake up from its peacetime slumber, recognize that warfare had changed, and build a massive armored force to survive the coming storm. Today, free societies must undergo the same kind of awakening. We must recognize we are under cognitive attack and engineer systemic defenses against narrative manipulation. We can no longer assume that the bare facts will defend themselves. Democratic institutions must aggressively harness and deploy their own truthful, compelling narratives.